Greetings to all on the other side of the screen. I am the Overly Positive Fanboy, and this is Overly Positive Vlogs, the show where I give my unfiltered thoughts on the latest TV. Beaker Girl time again, and this one's a Tyrone focus this time. First of all, it's nice to see that him and Jess have worked out their issues, because things have been getting a little tense between them for the previous 3 episodes. But yeah, like I said, luckily their friendship is back on track. Now Tyrone has parental issues he needs to get through, because this episode is about Tyrone getting a chance to get into Sean Godfrey's football academy and really live out his dream of becoming a professional footballer, only to bungle it at the last minute. Obviously this is because of his lingering issues with his mum. I will admit I don't really remember too much about what they established with her before, but I definitely remember the incident they brought up in My Mum, Tracy Beaker, when she sold his football gear. However, despite many past blemishes between them, this episode does seem to establish that she's at least trying to make things better for herself and Tyrone, including kicking out her last boyfriend, who is suggested to have been a piece of work, to the point where she apparently had to change her locks. Yeesh. Also, it was nice to have Justine Littlewood back again, and she actually managed to share the screen time with Tracy Beaker without them arguing or things going bad. Never thought I'd see the day. And side note, Steve is adorable. And of course, there's also the subplot of this episode involving Jordan going round to Asher's place and helping her younger brother out with a magic act. However, at first it looks like they start neglecting him in favour of being all musical and stuff. And then when things do pick up again, Jordan accidentally smashes a watch that turned out to have massive sentimental value to the kids, as it belonged to their deceased father. From that point on, this particular subplot winds up turning into an episode about grief of all things, as we see how their mother is basically closing herself off in a lot of ways. Like, she keeps all her feelings on the subject bottled in, and Jordan basically tries encouraging Asher to not do the same, culminating in a pretty nice moment between the two of them where they're just screaming on a beach. Just screaming on a beach. It's a nice little moment, as I said, and not a bad way to end the episode as far as their storyline was concerned. But yeah, back to the main plot. Obviously, Tyrone and his mother have a bit more effort when it comes to making up. But, as I said, it does ultimately seem to work out between them. And Tyrone even decides to turn down going to the Sean Godfrey Academy when it looks like Justine's managed to pull some strings that would get him in there, even though he was rejected. Because, well, if he was to get in through that way, then he'd just be taking some other kid's place, and he wouldn't have done it through earning it with his talents like he'd have wanted, so it wouldn't have meant the same. Yeah, that was a nice little message as well. Sorry, I realise I haven't said much about Jess and Tracy, the Beaker girls, in this episode, but yeah, this one was really Tyrone's story, and Jordan and Asher's, but mainly Tyrone. But yeah, this one was another pretty good episode from this show, and it looks like next week's coming out to just the right time, for the next episode is about Jess's first crush. Looks like we're getting a Valentine's special for Overly Positive Vlogs next week. Well, that will be all, folks. And remember, it can be a harsh world out there, so let's try and keep things a bit more positive, shall we?